You ever get that gut feeling that something's off? Like, you can't explain it, but you know something's coming. That was me a year ago. And man, I wish I'd trusted it sooner. It started simple, subtle, like an itch in the back of your mind you can't scratch. Rachel, my wife at the time, started acting weird. Not dramatic, just different. We'd been together for 4 years, married just over a year. I was a firefighter. She was a family law attorney. Pretty ironic now, huh? We lived in a cozy house in a small Texas town, quiet, slow mornings. Good coffee, backyard, BBQs, that kind of life. I thought we were solid. I mean, really solid. We didn't fight much, we laughed a lot, she loved my dog, and even put up with my awful taste in 2000s country music. We were that couple people pointed at and went goals. So yeah, when things started slipping, I didn't see it right away. The first red flag, she started caring way too much about my schedule. Like, hey, what time do you get off Wednesday and you still covering that late shift Friday? I figured maybe she was planning a surprise. Our anniversary was coming up, but nope, just questions. Then it was our finances. Out of nowhere, Rachel wanted to know everything. How much is in your emergency fund again? Wait, your retirement's through the union, right? What happens if, God forbid, you get hurt? I remember blinking at her like, what the hell, Rach? You're the lawyer in this relationship. You've never asked this stuff before. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't broke. I'd been saving since I was 21. I had a solid cushion, nothing flashy, but enough that we were never hurting. We split stuff fair. She made more and I didn't care. I was proud of her. But then she started taking these secretive phone calls. You know the kind, walks out onto the porch the second it rings, low voice, screen tilted away. When I'd ask, it was always, oh, it's just Lacey from the firm or an old friend from school. WTF. She had never been that cagey. It only got worse. Rachel started working late more often, but dinner receipts vanished. No takeout charges, no gas stops. I'm not some jealous psycho, but I pay our credit cards. I see that stuff. So yeah, I started getting suspicious. Not of cheating exactly, it felt bigger. Like something strategic, calculated. She wasn't just distant, she was plotting. That's when I started documenting. I know that sounds paranoid as hell. But listen, I've seen people lose everything in divorces, especially when the other person knows their way around the law. And Rachel? She was the law. She knew every loophole, every trick. So I made a spreadsheet, yep, a damn spreadsheet. Tracked every shared purchase, every gift. I took pictures of stuff in the house. I started moving some of my pre-marriage savings into a separate account, technically mine anyway, just in case. It felt wrong, it felt sneaky, but something in my gut kept screaming, you're about to get blindsided. And then, it happened. 3 months ago, Tuesday morning, 7:48 a.m. I was at the kitchen table halfway through my second cup of coffee, scrolling emails on my phone. Rachel was making toast, still in her bathrobe, hair up in a messy bun. She looked normal, calm, like any other morning. Then she just slid a manila envelope across the table. No words, no buildup, just pushed it toward me like it was the grocery list. I looked down, my heart did this weird hiccup thing. Legal header, divorce packet. My mouth went dry. What the hell is this? She didn't even flinch, just said, I want a divorce. It's all there. You just need to sign. I stared at her. Are you serious right now? Rachel nodded like she was telling me we were out of milk. I'm not happy. I haven't been for a while. There it was, flat, rehearsed, zero emotion. I was too stunned to speak. Hell, my fork was still midair. She kept talking. Something about growing apart, different goals, wanting freedom, blah blah. I tuned out. All I could think was, thank God I moved that money. Is that messed up? That my first instinct was to protect myself, not beg for her to stay. Maybe, but I'd been bracing for that exact moment. So I didn't cry, I didn't plead, I didn't even raise my voice. I looked her dead in the eyes and said, okay. That word hit her like a slap. She blinked. That's it. I nodded. You've clearly been planning this for a while. Not much to talk about. She tried to mask it, but I saw the flicker of panic in her eyes. Weirdest part, we still had dinner together that night. Yep, divorce served at breakfast. Chicken stir-fry at 6 p.m. like nothing happened. We sat across from each other in this tight silence while she scrolled her phone and I pushed noodles around my plate. I couldn't eat. Couldn't think. My brain was just a static loop of what is she after? What's the play here? Because here's the thing, she didn't ask for anything big in the papers. No alimony, no house grab. Just basic separation. Way too clean. Suspiciously clean. So I kept my guard up. We finalized the divorce 2 weeks later. I bought her out of the house. Split what needed to be split. I signed. She signed. No drama. And then she vanished. The thing is, when someone leaves you, you expect some kind of trace, right? Like maybe they'll pop up on Facebook, or their mom will still call to check in, or you'll hear from mutual friends. But not Rachel. She didn't just leave, she erased herself. 2 weeks after we signed the papers, she quit her job. Just gone. No 2-week notice, no goodbye lunch, no cute little moving on post on LinkedIn. I only found out because her boss, who for the record used to love our grilled ribeyes, called me all confused like, "Hey, Ethan, is Rachel okay?" She never came back after that Monday. I literally had to remind the guy, we're divorced now. His tone shifted real quick after that. Then came the calls. Her best friend texted me asking if she was with me. I said no. She blocked me, the friend replied. Then another friend. Then her yoga instructor of all people messaged me on Instagram. "Has anyone seen Rachel? Her number doesn't work anymore." Okay, that's when it got eerie. I started checking. Her social media gone. Deleted, not deactivated. Her email bounced back. Even her Venmo was wiped, which is basically modern-day witness protection. I'll admit it, I got curious. I did a little digital digging. She'd closed her personal bank accounts. Entirely. Just walked into the local branch, cashed out what she could, and walked away with a damn cashier's check. I only found that out because I was at the bank a few days later dealing with house paperwork, and the teller, sweet lady named Carol, who's known me since I opened my first savings account at 17, leaned in and said Rachel came in last week. She looked different. Pale. Like she hadn't slept. She closed everything. I asked her where Rachel said she was going. Carol just shook her head. She wouldn't say, but it didn't feel like a vacation, Ethan. She looked scared. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, I should have walked away. Wasn't my circus anymore. But something about it was bugging the hell out of me. People don't just vanish like that, not without a reason. And this wasn't I need to go find myself in Bali energy. This was I'm running from something. But whatever, not my problem anymore. So I moved on. Or at least I tried. A couple months passed. I kept working, kept doing my shifts at the station, picked up a few more overnight calls just to stay busy. I started hitting the gym more regularly. Yeah, I know, classic divorced guy move. But it helped. Helped me get out of my own head. Then I met Cassie. It wasn't anything crazy. I was grabbing dog food at the feed store. Yes, small town life, we still do that. And she was there picking up supplies for a rescue horse barn she volunteered at. Her hands were covered in hay and she smelled like peppermint and cedar. Not exactly the meet cute you see in movies, but I don't know. It worked. She smiled at me and said, "Hey, you dropped your receipt." Reader, I had not dropped anything, but I went with it. We started talking. Found out she was a vet tech, loved old school rock, hated cilantro, red flag, and cried at those ASPCA commercials with the Sarah McLachlan song. She was light, easy, good. We started dating. Nothing dramatic, just dinners, dog walks, late night drives out to the old overlook where you can see the whole county lit up like a Christmas tree. And for the first time in months, I actually felt like I could breathe again. Fast forward about 5 months post-divorce. I'm in my kitchen. Cassie's over. We're making cookies. She's in one of my flannel shirts and playing some cheesy baking playlist on her phone. It's wholesome as hell. Then there's a knock at the door. Not a soft tap, a bang. Cassie's like, "Who the heck knocks like that?" I shrug, walk to the door, open it, and there she is. Rachel. Looking like hell. Hair tangled, eyes hollow, wearing a hoodie I hadn't seen since our honeymoon trip to Sedona. First words out of her mouth. Whose car is that in the driveway? Not hey. Not sorry for showing up unannounced. Nope. She's pointing at Cassie's little white Jeep like it just insulted her personally. I stare at her. That's Cassie's. My girlfriend. Her face crumples. Not sad. Offended, like she expected me to still be alone, still waiting. Then she storms in, just pushes past me. I'm too stunned to react. Cassie peeks her head out of the kitchen, sees Rachel, blinks like, oh hell no, and ducks back behind the wall. Meanwhile, Rachel is pacing in my living room talking a mile a minute. You moved on already after everything, so that's it, huh? 4 years down the drain and you're playing house with someone who probably doesn't even know how to make coffee without instructions. I put my hand up. Stop. You don't get to come in here and do this. She freezes, then her voice drops. I need money. And there it is. The real reason she came. Not for closure, not for some sappy apology. She wants something. I lean against the wall, arms crossed. Why? She bites her lip. I gave you stuff during our marriage. Jewelry. A watch. That leather jacket you still wear. Technically, that's community property. You owe me. I actually laughed. I sold most of that after you ghosted. The rest donated. Was part of me moving on. Thought you'd appreciate that. Her face darkened. You had no right. I shrugged. Kinda forfeited your rights when you served me papers over breakfast and dipped out of the state without telling anyone. She's shaking now, and I can't tell if it's from anger, shame, or both. That's when Cassie walks back in with a tray of fresh cookies, and God bless her soul offers one to Rachel. I made extra. Rachel just glares at her like she's the devil. Cassie blinks. All right, cool. I'll just put these in the fridge. Rachel turns to me. Her voice cracks now. Less rage, more desperation. I'm pregnant. I didn't say anything for a full 10 seconds. She looks at me with those same eyes she used when she used to steal fries off my plate and ask you mad. But this wasn't cute. This was nuclear. I'm not asking for much, she said, just enough to cover some medical bills. Things didn't go how I thought they would. I finally spoke. Is it mine? She hesitated. Big mistake. No, it's not. Of course it's not. So I asked the obvious question. Where's the baby daddy? Her jaw tightened. It's complicated. Jesus Christ. Of course it is. That's when everything clicked. The phone calls. The sudden exit. The cash withdrawals. The farm. You left me for him, didn't you? She looked down. Let me guess. You guys were gonna start a new life. Somewhere remote. Get off the grid. Maybe raise horses. Be your own bosses. Am I close? Silence. I shook my head. I hoped the ranch was worth it. Then I opened the door. You should go. She started to protest, but I just pointed. This isn't your home anymore, Rachel. You made that choice. And I'm not your emergency exit plan. She stood there, pale, empty, pregnant with someone else's kid. And for the first time in a long time, I felt absolutely nothing. Not hate, not grief. Just peace. She finally left, didn't say another word. Cassie came over, slid a cookie into my hand. I was gonna offer her some hot cocoa too, she said, but I figured she'd throw it in my face. I smiled. I don't think she can handle warm things anymore. 3 days after that little ambush at my doorstep, I get a call. Unknown number. It's 11:47 p.m. I'm half asleep on the couch, Cassie's head on my chest, her dog curled up at our feet. I should have let it go to voicemail. I wanted to let it go to voicemail. But something told me pick up. I swipe. Hello? Long pause. Then a familiar voice, low and awkward. Hey, Ethan, it's Mike. Rachel's brother. I haven't heard from him since the divorce, which sucked, honestly. Mike and I used to be tight Sunday football beer runs, the occasional fishing trip. Guy was like family. Until suddenly he wasn't. He didn't say goodbye, didn't even shoot me a damn text after everything went down. Just vanished with the rest of them. So hearing his voice now, weird. I sit up a little. Wow, you're still alive. He sighs. Yeah, I deserve that. Damn right you do. But I let him keep going. Look, I know this is out of nowhere, but I need to talk to you. It's about Rachel. There it is. I didn't say anything, just waited. He keeps talking nervous and too fast. She told me she went by your place, said you slammed the door in her face, that you refused to help. Man, she's struggling. You know that, right? She's pregnant, Ethan. Oh, so now we care about that. I pinched the bridge of my nose. Mike, let me stop you right there. I didn't slam the door. I opened it. I listened. And I said no. That's not refusing to help. That's drawing a fucking boundary. He's quiet for a second, then goes, she's your ex-wife. Exactly, I snap. Ex. Not my responsibility, not my burden. Then he starts guilt-tripping. She was family for 4 years, man. Doesn't that mean anything to you? You loved her once. She's not the same person. She's scared. Alone. If the roles were reversed, she would have helped you. That's when I laugh. Like actual out loud laugh. You serious right now? Rachel would have helped me. The same woman who left me with zero warning, ghosted everyone she knew, and ran off to start a fake-ass farm with a guy she met at her 10-year high school reunion. That Rachel. More silence. I keep going. She bailed. She bailed on me, on you, on her job, her friends, her life. And now she's crawling back because things didn't work out with Captain Cowboy. Spare me the speech, man. Mike clears his throat, tries a new angle. She didn't tell me all of that. She just said she's broke. That you sold her stuff, and now she's got nothing. Oh, now we're talking about stuff. I shake my head. You want receipts? I gave her a car. You remember that? The hybrid she still drives around like she earned it? Yeah, that one's still in her name. She can sell it. She'd get more for that than all the jewelry she gave me combined. He's fumbling now. That's not the point, Ethan. No, Mike. This is the point. She made her bed. Now she gets to lie in it. Pregnancy isn't a get-out-of-consequences-free card. I can tell he's pissed. His tone changes. You're not the guy I thought you were. That one stings, not gonna lie. But I fire right back. Yeah, well, I thought you were my brother-in-law. Thought you gave a shti. But the second she served me those papers, you ghosted. No call, no visit, nothing. So guess what? Turns out neither of us are who we thought we were. He goes quiet. For a beat, I think he might apologize. Say something human. But nope. You're bitter, he mutters. That's all this is. You're holding a grudge. I almost dropped the phone. Grudge, dude. This isn't about payback. This is about survival. She nuked my life. I rebuilt. You think I'm gonna hand her a shovel now and say, sure, take another swing? He starts mumbling something else, but I'm done. I hang up. Block the number. Cassie stirs next to me. You okay? I nod. Yeah, just ghost from the past. She rubs my chest gently. Want me to make popcorn? God, I love this woman. We end up watching reruns of some trashy baking show and passing out by midnight, but I lie there awake a little longer than usual. Mike's call rattled me more than I want to admit. Not because of what he said, but because of what he didn't say. There was something in his voice. Some tension. Like he knew something but didn't know how to say it. That night I dream of Rachel crying in the rain. Next morning, 4:03 a.m. I get a text. From Rachel. Yes, her. After weeks of silence. It's long, a block of text so thick it makes my phone lag. She says she wants to meet. One last time. She says she'll tell me everything. The whole truth this time. Now, I'll be real with you, I almost deleted it right then and there. The idea of dragging myself back into her mess made me feel sick. But something about the message felt different. Desperate. Raw. I show it to Cassie over breakfast. She reads it, sets the phone down, and takes a slow sip of coffee. Go, she says finally. You need closure. You okay with that, I ask. She nods. I'm not scared of ghosts. So I text Rachel back. We set a time. A coffee shop downtown. Public. Neutral ground. I arrive 5 minutes early. She's already there. And holy shit, she looks bad. Like worn down, hollowed out, like she hasn't slept in days. Sweats, hoodie, no makeup. Her nails chipped, she used to keep them perfect. She doesn't speak at first, just stares at her paper cup like it might answer for her. Then finally, I messed up. No eshit. But I say nothing, let her talk. She tells me everything. The guy real estate investor. Met him at her high school reunion. They reconnected, sparks flew. She thought it was fate. You and I were comfortable, she says. He made me feel alive. I almost laugh in her face. But I let her go on. They ran off to New Mexico. Bought a plot of land. Gonna start a healing ranch for burnt-out tech execs. You can't make this crap up. Neither of them knew jack about farming, or zoning, or horses. But they had dreams and a Pinterest board, apparently. Burned through her divorce settlement in 6 months. Then the guy bailed. Left her pregnant and stranded. And now she's back, alone, broke, ashamed. I didn't know who else to call, she says, eyes wet. I thought maybe you'd still care. I don't know what expression was on my face, but she flinched. Then she said it. Would you ever consider giving me another chance? I blinked. Let that sit in the air. You want to come back. She nods. I know I messed up, but I've changed, and I still love you. Maybe we could. I stop her there. Rachel, I say calm but firm. I'm glad you told me the truth. That takes guts. And I hope for your kids' sake you figure this out. But no, we're done. You walked out on me. You disappeared. And now you want to crawl back just because it got hard. She tries again. I didn't realize what I had with you until I lost it. That's not love, I say. That's regret. I stand up, toss a 20 on the table. For the coffee, I say. She's crying now, not sobbing, just leaking. I'm not your rescue, Rachel. I'm not your restart button. She doesn't follow me. As I leave, I glance back once. She's still staring at her cup. Like maybe the answer's at the bottom. 2 nights later, she showed up again. No warning this time, no polite text, no coffee shop meeting. Just full-blown chaos. It's just past midnight. Cassie's on a night shift at the animal hospital. I'm home alone halfway through an old action movie, dog passed out at my feet when I hear the pounding. Not knocking, not a doorbell. Pounding. I grab my phone, walk to the door, and look through the peephole. And, of course, it's her. Rachel. She's in a frenzy, hair everywhere, mascara smeared, hoodie half-zipped, shouting my name like we're in some soap opera finale. Ethan, open the damn door. I crack it just a bit. What the hell are you doing? She pushes against the door like she's trying to force her way in. You owe me this. You said you'd listen. I did listen, I snap. You told me everything. You got your closure. I'm done. No, you're not, she hisses, eyes wild. You don't get to just walk away while I'm drowning. I pull the door tighter. That's not my problem anymore. You made it very clear. And then she shoves her foot in the doorway. That's when I lose my temper. Back the hell up, I growl. You don't get to scream on my porch in the middle of the night like a maniac. Get off my property. Her eyes flash, and then boom, here comes the meltdown. She starts crying, not cute sniffles. Full-on breakdown. You're heartless, she sobs. I gave you the best years of my life. I believed in us. I made one mistake. One mistake, I cut her off. Cheating on me, disappearing, lying to everyone you know, and trying to guilt your way back into my house, that's not one mistake. That's a damn pattern. She slaps the doorframe, shrieking. You don't get to judge me. You were always too safe, too boring. I wanted more. Well, congrats, I say. You got more. Hope the farming fantasy was worth it. I was scared, she screams. I thought he loved me. I didn't think you'd ever forgive me if I told you the truth. I don't forgive you now, I say flatly. So nothing's changed. She glares at me, voice cracking again. I need help, Ethan. This baby is not mine, I interrupt, and neither are your problems. Then I hold up my phone. You've got 10 seconds before I call the cops. That gets her attention. She backs up slowly, hands raised like I've got a gun. You wouldn't, she says. I hit the screen, dial 911 just loud enough for her to hear it start ringing. Her expression flips in an instant. from rage to panic. "No, okay, I'm leaving," she shrieks, stepping back fast. "God, you're so cruel. You were never this cold before. What happened to you?" I lock eyes with her. "You did." And I slam the door in her face. I hear her cursing all the way down the driveway. Tires squeal a second later and she's gone. I stand there for a minute, just breathing. The dog wanders over confused, tail down. I scratch his ears. "It's okay, buddy." The storm passed. Not really, but I want it to be true. I text Cassie. "Your favorite ghost showed up. I sent her packing. Also, your hoodie might smell like desperation now." She texts back instantly. "Want me to bring donuts on my way home?" Hell, yes. Next morning, I wake up to an email from Rachel. Yep, after all that, she emails me. Subject line, "Please read." I almost delete it, but curiosity wins. It's long, way too long. She's going on about how she's sorry, how she's not proud of who she became, how she feels like she lost herself somewhere between chasing love and trying to escape the version of herself she saw in our marriage. And honestly, I almost feel bad. But then she throws in a line about maybe there's still a version of us that could work, and I'm instantly reminded why I can't go back. She still doesn't get it. She doesn't want me. She wants a life raft, a second chance to rewrite her mess with me as the foundation. Nah, not happening. I don't reply. Instead, I write my own message. Not to her, to myself. I open the Notes app and start typing everything I wish I'd said when she stood on my porch screaming. And this is what I write. "You left. You chose someone else. You burned bridges you didn't even bother to look back at. Now you're drowning and you're hoping I'll reach out and save you. But you didn't leave me room to be your hero. You cast me as the villain, and I've spent too long trying to make peace with the ashes. So no, I'm not coming back. And I hope you learned something from this because I sure as hell did." I don't send it. I just keep it, like a final nail in the coffin. Later that night, Cassie gets home with a pink box of donuts and 2 giant coffees. She kisses me on the forehead and hands me a glazed twist. We sit on the couch, dog curled between us, legs tangled up. She doesn't ask about Rachel. She doesn't have to. I already know the answer. I'm done. A week later, I hear from one of Rachel's old coworkers. Random Facebook message. Apparently, she found out Rachel had been siphoning money from some shared legal project in her final months at the firm. Nothing criminal, just shady. Reallocating bonuses, pocketing expense account funds, that kind of thing. When they asked for clarification, she ghosted. Sound familiar? I tell Cassie. She just whistles. Damn, she really is the final boss of red flags. I laugh harder than I should. Then I delete the message and go back to the pie we're making. Yes, pie. Cassie's teaching me how to bake. I suck at it, but I'm trying. And that's kind of the point. I'm not the same guy I was a year ago. Back then, I thought love meant fixing things, holding on no matter what, forgiving everything. Now I know better. Love means peace. Love means honesty. Love means someone who brings home donuts at 3 a.m. and doesn't flinch when your past comes pounding on the door. I look over at Cassie, flour on her cheek tongue poking out as she concentrates on the crust. She catches me watching. What? Nothing, I grin. You're just kinda everything. She snorts. You're corny as hell. Yeah, I say, but you like it. She rolls her eyes, but she's smiling. The past can knock all it wants. I'm not answering anymore. So after that whole midnight meltdown, I figured we were done. Rachel had finally thrown every last bit of crazy at me. Tears, guilt, shouting, baby bombs, the works. I shut the door, said my piece, blocked her again. And for a few weeks, it was quiet. No late-night calls, no angry texts, no random show-ups. And man, it was peaceful. Too peaceful almost. Cassie and I got back into our groove. Fall was kicking in, crisp mornings, flannel sheets, the whole cliche, and life felt kinda normal. Cozy even. She'd leave post-it notes on the fridge that said stuff like, "Your face is okay, I guess," or "Save me a donut," or "We break up." I'd cook dinner, she'd bake dessert. My dog stopped growling at the front door every time someone passed. I was finally starting to believe we'd turned the page for good. Then one afternoon, I check my mail. Actual mailbox, not email. Mixed in with the usual garbage takeout flyers. Bills, those random, you might already be a winner. Envelopes, there's a manila folder. No return address, just my name scribbled in handwriting I recognize instantly. Rachel's. I stand there on the porch for a full minute before opening it. Inside. Printed screenshots, dozens of them. All of Cassie's Instagram posts, Facebook updates, even some of her hospital's employee page. At first, I'm just confused. Like, why? Then I see the highlighted parts. Circled comments. Places where Cassie tagged me. Photos of us with the dog. Her caption from our weekend trip, "Love this man," and "our dumb, sweet life." Rachel underlined it. Wrote in red marker, "Did you ever even love me?" I'm not kidding, that's what it said. Like a jealous teenager instead of a grown-ass adult. But it wasn't just that. There was a typed note, too. This part made my blood run cold. She said she was filing for a claim on unreturned marital assets. And listen, I'm not a lawyer, but I've watched enough courtroom shows to know that's not just petty ex talk. That's legal speak. Basically, she's accusing me of keeping stuff that belongs to her, specifically the gifts she gave me during our marriage. Which, to be clear, were like a watch, a couple shirts, a fancy coffee maker. You know what I gave her. A car. Furniture. A damn Peloton. She never returned any of that. But now suddenly I'm the thief. I reread it twice. There's a line that actually says, "If you won't return what I gave you, then I'll take something you love instead." At that moment, something shifted in me. All the calm I'd been clinging to, gone. Just pure fury. She'd crossed a line. Threatening Cassie. Even hinting at hurting her, hell no. I snapped photos of everything, walked straight back inside, and called my lawyer. Send it all, she said after I explained. Every page. Every note. We'll hit back with a cease and desist so fast she won't know what hit her. I did exactly that. By the next morning, my lawyer had sent Rachel a formal letter. It said, "In legalese, cut the crap or we sue." And you know what? She finally went quiet. Again. Another few weeks passed. No more letters, no more emails, no more creepy scrapbook folders. It was like she'd finally realized I wasn't playing her game anymore. And I'll admit, part of me waited for the other shoe to drop. I checked my locks twice. Installed a door cam. Made sure Cassie had my lawyer's info just in case. But nothing happened. She disappeared, like for real this time. Cassie and I went on a road trip in November. Just 2 states over, but it felt like a damn vacation from reality. We stayed in a cabin, drank too much cider, laughed until our faces hurt. And one night, lying under a sky so clear it made me forget the past year completely. Cassie looked over at me and said, "You're not haunted anymore." I knew what she meant. I wasn't waiting for Rachel to ruin things. I wasn't jumping at shadows or reading into every silence. I was free. I pulled her close, kissed her hair. "You're why." "Duh," she whispered. "I'm amazing." Then December hit. I thought that was the end of it. Turns out, I was wrong. Not in the dramatic way this time. No big blow-up, no porch screaming or baby threats. Just a single envelope. Certified mail. Return address, a county office in New Mexico. I open it cautiously. Inside, a legal document. A notice of voluntary relinquishment of parental rights from Rachel. I have to reread it 5 times. It's not addressed to me directly. I'm not the father. But it's part of a court filing. Public record. Apparently, she gave birth 2 weeks prior. A baby girl. And she's giving her up. I don't know what to feel. Part of me feels this weird pang of guilt, like maybe I could have prevented this train wreck if I'd just fought harder, if I'd begged her to stay, helped more, been different. But another part of me knows better. This was always going to happen. Rachel made choices and never once took accountability for them. She ran until there was nowhere left to run. Now she's out of money, out of options, out of people. I stare at the name of the child. It's listed as baby girl, no name given. And something about that hits me in a place I didn't expect. Even in the end, Rachel couldn't give this kid a name. She just Let her go, just like she let everything go. And I wonder when she disappeared the first time, did she think it would all work out? That love and fantasy and some guy from high school would magically erase all the wreckage she caused. It never does. Eventually, the bill comes due. She lost her job, her reputation, her friends, and now even her kid. I fold the letter, set it on the table. Cassie comes in a few minutes later, shaking snow out of her boots. "Hey," she says, "everything okay?" I hand her the paper. She reads it. When she looks up, her eyes are glassy. But she doesn't say, "That's so sad." She says, "That could have been you." And she's right. It could have been me, trapped in her spiral, trying to fix what was never mine to fix, raising a child that wasn't mine, tied forever to someone who would have dragged me down every time I tried to breathe. I reach for her hand. "No more ghosts," I say. She squeezes back. "Just donuts."